senior advocate, joining us live on the broadcast to really take us through the legal aspects. Mr. Sundaram, really want you to touch upon all aspects given the current scenario, the overall picture, and what is the ray of hope here really for Rahul Gandhi? What are his options? What could come in for Rahul Gandhi next, sir?
Well, the legal aspect is very simple. After the decision in 2013 of the Supreme Court, which struck down Section 8(4) of the Representation of People's Act, which provided that the disqualification which was otherwise provided would not take effect until the appeal was heard. After that was struck down by the Supreme Court, the effect became immediate disqualification upon a sentence of 2 years or more. Now, that is the law. The law is that if you're sentenced to 2 years and more, you get disqualified immediately. The government then, under Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, tried to bring an ordinance to give a little bit of leeway to enable a person to go to an appellate court and get a stay of the judgment. But that, Rahul Gandhi himself, for whatever reason, saw fit to tear that ordinance in a press conference and throw it away. So the effect is very simple, that the moment you have a sentence of 2 years or more passed against you, you are disqualified. But the Supreme Court has, in a subsequent judgment in 2018, made it very clear that if subsequently the appellate court stays the judgment itself or stays the conviction, then the disqualification will cease to have effect, which means immediately the disqualification goes and he once again becomes a member of parliament and can attend the Lok Sabha. So in other words, for a person who has been disqualified like this, who has faced a sitting parliamentarian, who is sentenced to an imprisonment of 2 years and more, has three options before him. One, he has the option of having the appeal being filed and allowed, or two, the appeal reducing his sentence to less than 2 years, the appellate court, or three, pending the appeal, a stay of the judgment, not stay of the sentence, stay of the judgment, the conviction itself. Now this is the most important thing, but because it's very rare that an appeal will be over within the next 3 years. So for the appeal to actually be heard and conclude will take a period of time.
Realistically speaking, Mr. Sundaram, what are the chances?
Therefore, the immediacy is to...
Yes, what are the chances given the time constraint
get a stay of that judgment or conviction?
Perhaps Rahul Gandhi, given the current scenario, just has about 30 days.
He would definitely be filing an appeal immediately and seeking a stay of conviction. If you remember what happened with Navjot Singh Sidhu. Navjot Singh Sidhu, because there was an election coming up, approached the court and the Supreme Court stayed his conviction. And he thereafter stood for elections, etc. So what will have to be done immediately in such a case by a parliamentarian who has been convicted is to move an appeal against the conviction, and in that appeal seek a stay of the conviction or the judgment itself. In fact, the Supreme Court in 2018 did consider this and held that number one, you can file an appeal and seek a stay of the conviction and not just the sentence. Two, it also said that such stay would be given considering all the circumstances.
Very important what you're telling us, that it is important that the appellate court stays the judgment and not just the sentencing, and that's the only ray of hope with Rahul Gandhi at the moment. Whether or not it comes his way remains to be seen. But stay on with us, Mr. Sundaram. We have to quickly go back to this worrying piece of news coming in of how the Congress and BJP workers can be seen stone pelting at each other in Raipur. That's the Congress workers from both the Congress and the BJP, I beg your pardon, stone pelting at each other in Raipur. And now we have Samrendra joining us on the phone line. He's getting us more details on the current situation. Samrendra. समरेंद्र, क्या बता सकते हैं वहां की स्थिति के बारे में? All right, not quite sure if Samrendra is through. We'll just reconnect with him. While the Congress top brass is currently holding a meeting in the national capital today, several top leaders have already arrived for the meeting, a crucial meeting being chaired by the Congress party in the national capital to discuss their future strategy. The legal strategy, to be very, very specific at the moment, given that this could mean an 8-year setback for Rahul Gandhi and that he will perhaps only be able to now contest in 2034 elections next. If this is a nightmare that turns into a reality for Rahul Gandhi. In the meanwhile, what we're showing you are visuals from Raipur, where both Congress and BJP workers can be seen engaged in this clash. They can be seen stone pelting at each other. We'll go across to Samrendra in just a bit to take us through the latest. But we also have Mr. Sundaram, who continues to stay on with us. Yes, sir, we continue to track these ground developments. They're very important because what's going to be most interesting is what the Congress decides to do next. You're telling us that the only legal option that they have right now is to directly approach the courts, and that's the only ray of hope for Rahul Gandhi if the appellate court in that sense stays the judgment that's coming from the Surat court. But very valid point has also been raised by the BJP, and on a lighter note, that, you know, here's a party that has a series of legal experts. I mean, you name it and they have it. And yet Rahul Gandhi went on to make one statement after the other, to the extent that he has so many cases filed against him. Of course, in much of them, he's found relief in the past, but this one has been able to catch him and catch him hard. He's facing disqualification currently. But the charge is that everyone in the Congress was well aware that this could be a repercussion at the end of the day.
Well, a lawyer can advise, but it's for the client to follow the advice or not. And without a doubt, politics has descended to a very great extent of very vile and often unfair defamatory statements being made by politicians. I'm not talking about this particular politician. I'm talking about politicians across the board, across parties. It's very unfortunate that politics has descended to this kind of mudslinging. Political maligning has happened. It's gone into hate speeches and other things. So what I am glad about is about one thing, is that a decision like this will at least make politicians think and say, we are no different than any other people. The right of freedom of speech has a definite restriction that you're not allowed to defame. You're not allowed to hate monger. If you do any hate mongering, you can be sentenced and you can be stopped. If you do any defamation and being vile in your comments,
yes,
you can be sentenced, you can be stopped. And I think to that extent, this is a great lesson for every politician, whichever party he belongs to.
Absolutely. And this is not a first time that we've seen that a member of parliament has been disqualified for any such allegation that's been leveled against him in terms of a case having been filed. This is a defamation case, but we've seen a similar action be taken in the past as well. The decision by the courts against the likes of Lalu Prasad Yadav, against Mohammad Faisal, and so on and so forth. Stay on with us, Mr. Sundaram. In the meanwhile, more news coming in from Pune. Pune Youth Congress is also staging a protest against disqualification of Rahul Gandhi. So we'll quickly play out those visuals of what's transpiring in Pune. Congress taking to streets to protest in support of Rahul Gandhi once again, and once again maintaining that this is an attempt to silence Rahul Gandhi. This is an attempt to put a full stop to the questions being put out by Rahul Gandhi against the BJP. When Rahul Gandhi wants to raise the Adani issue, he wants the BJP to come out with answers on the Adani issue. That's the BJP resorting to its own set of strategy to silence Rahul Gandhi, a charge that has constantly been leveled by the Congress party. Several leaders of the Congress party, in fact, Abhishek Singhvi and Jairam Ramesh a short while ago, when they addressed the media, also spoke on similar lines, that this is nothing but an example of how democracy is dying in our country, that an attempt to silence Rahul Gandhi is blatantly being put to use successfully by the BJP. So we'll quickly go across to our reporter in just a bit, but on the right side of your screens are those visuals of the Congress workers, supporters taking to streets to protest in Pune. Let me quickly, in the meanwhile, go across to Rishabh once again, as a key meeting of the Congress perhaps has already begun in the national capital. Rishabh, what more can you tell us? We just reconnect with Rishabh in a bit, but these are visuals of how certain Congress leaders, top Congress leaders, are making their way to the premises as the meeting is going to perhaps begin in just a bit. Rahul Gandhi disqualified as a member of parliament. He no longer is a member of parliament. He's been disqualified. The speaker has officially sent out a notification as well declaring his disqualification. The Congress has now been prompted to hold this all-important meeting. You can see those visuals that we've picked up of what's going on inside. Mallikarjun Kharge, Sonia Gandhi, several top BJP leaders, P. Chidambaram, all of whom you can see on your screens right now. Rishabh, all the top BJP leaders currently sitting at that table, all set to decide what needs to be done next. What more can you tell us? What's going on there?
So here at AICC, all the senior leaders are inside. They will be discussing what next from here. Remember, Rahul Gandhi might not be the member of parliament anymore. He has been disqualified, but he still remains the all-important face of the party.
Okay, we'll reconnect with Rishabh in just a bit. Those are visuals we're tracking of the Congress emergency meet that has begun at the AICC headquarters. Top Congress leaders currently in a huddle as this meeting is taking place to weigh in on the legal options that lie ahead of Rahul Gandhi. We continue to track the latest visuals coming in. We'll go across to a reporter in just a bit. Heading into a very short break for now. We'll be right back.